Welcome to Recovery TV. Today we're going to talk about 3 particular challenges that sex addicts often experience in recovery, so don't go anywhere. Hey everybody, welcome to Recovery TV. Thank you for joining us. We're so glad that you're here. We're so glad that you have found value in the videos that we're making here. And today we're going to talk about 3 challenges that recovering sex addicts tend to experience as they begin their recovery journey. But before we do that, I just want to encourage you to please, if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel and ring that bell so that you can be notified when more valuable videos like this one are posted. So let's get into the topic of this video. These 3 challenges that sex addicts tend to experience when they're beginning their recovery journey. Now, before we dive into these 3 challenges, it's important to remember that sex addiction, along with other addictions, is widely considered an attachment disorder, which in a nutshell means basically that addicts have a more difficult time forming healthy or secure attachments in their relationships. More often than not, that stems from difficult or traumatic experiences that they had in childhood, and this is how it just manifests in their adult life. So a lot of times, sex addicts and other addicts alike tend to fear abandonment, rejection, and often will avoid conflict at all costs. But in order to do that, they have to keep the people that they love and care about at arm's distance. That's actually what feels safe to the addict. That's what makes the addict brain feel like it's safe and it can survive that and it's the right thing to do. But because healthy relationships thrive on vulnerability and intimacy, it really restricts that. So it's not uncommon to hear sex addiction referred to as an intimacy disorder in addition to an attachment disorder. So in my experience in working with sex addicts or sexually compulsive people, I'm not real surprised when they reveal to me that they are struggling with these particular challenges that I'm going to go over with you in this video. So let's get to number 1, community. One aspect of recovery that almost every recovery specialist will agree on is the importance of community. That's why we encourage addicts to get involved in something like a 12-step program or group therapy, something that's beyond the one-on-one individual counseling part of therapy, because there's so much power and freedom that comes in experiencing support from a group. Another important thing that group does, though, is that it creates accountability. And a very important facet of addiction recovery is having an accountability partner. And a lot of times the people that I'm working with very commonly will say, I don't know who that's going to be. I don't know anybody in my life that I'm that close with that I can reveal to them these secrets that I've had and then ask them to be an accountability partner. The first thing I want to say about that is that that's normal given these circumstances. Most addicts have this issue. That's something that definitely has to be remedied, but that's one of the main benefits of having groups available to you. And there's a plethora of 12-step groups available, and I'll definitely put a link in the description of this video below so that you can have access to those that are for sex addiction recovery. But the first step I would say is get involved in one of those groups, because there you can meet people, like-minded people, people who are going through similar things that you're going through, and you might be able to find someone that is willing to be a sponsor or just to help hold you accountable. Number 2, empathy. I've often referred to empathy as an Everest for addicts. In a nutshell, empathy is often defined as one's ability to not only understand the perspective of somebody else, but actually to get into their shoes and experience it on an emotional level. So it's not feeling bad that somebody's hurting, that's sympathy. Empathy would actually be feeling the hurt that they feel to some degree. Then that person feels validated and understood, and they feel a lot less alone. That's really important to have, especially in our couple relationships, but really in any relationship that's meaningful. Addicts have a really hard time with that because, remember, addiction is an attachment disorder. They're disconnected from the part of themselves that is able to connect emotionally with someone else to that extent. That's a protective mechanism, and it doesn't mean it's impossible. It's definitely possible for addicts to learn to empathize, but it does take some work. And my encouragement would be that you be working with a professional therapist to help you do that. Now, number 3. Just like an addict struggle with empathy, which is the ability to emotionally connect with somebody else, they also struggle with being emotionally connected to themselves. For various reasons, an addict's brain often goes into survival mode, and there's just not room for vulnerability there. So not only is their ability to connect with somebody else minimized, but there's also limited room for them to connect with their own feelings, because in a war zone, those feelings can be very dangerous in the mind of an addict. So an important part of the addict's recovery journey is to reconnect with themselves and to experience those feelings and to learn that those feelings are not there to harm them. They are there to actually help them if they will listen to them and adhere to the message that they're sending in the correct way. Again, that's something that a professional therapist could help you with. So those are 3 common challenges that addicts deal with in recovery. So if that's something that you're dealing with, I just want you to know that that's normal given these circumstances. But it's really imperative that you seek out the right kind of help. So again, I've made sure to put a link in the description where you can have access to a therapist directory so you can find counselors and therapists in your area to help you in your recovery journey. I hope this video was helpful to you. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you back here next time.